If you're a valued customer, you deserve a simple gesture of appreciation from your credit card company. And that's why Discover matches all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year. Discover, exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply. Welcome to Gold Medal Loser. I'm LoLo Jones, and I talk to some of my favorite people about their greatest victories, lowest moments, and everything behind the scenes that the cameras didn't see. Our guest today is Olympic volleyball player Kerri Walsh Jennings. Welcome to the show, Kerri. I'm so excited to have you on.
Long time no see, kid.
I just saw you a few days ago.
I know. That was good fun. And you're still going. How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. Hey, this is not about me. This is about you. No, but it was cool to see actually, on the other side of things with working with NBC, both of us getting our little feet wet in the commentating side. So,
well, you were the hostess. You did incredible. I only had 5 minutes with you, but I was so impressed with your ability to be. I swear to God, I'm not blowing smoke. Like, you're a natural. And I was talking to your team before, and I want to hear you talk more because you're so thoughtful and have lived so much. And on NBC,
this is a podcast, and I will talk forever.
Well, yeah. Well, it's valuable. So.
Kerri, we have to go over some of your stats. I mean, we might be here actually all day. So, but let's just get to people don't know about you, which obviously they should because you're a household name in the Olympic world. Kerri, you have an older brother, 2 younger sisters. Yeah. You're married to a beach volleyball player, Kerri Jennings. You guys have 3 kids. Wow. Sons Joseph, Sundance, and daughter Scout. Yes. Those are great names. Power names right there. Yeah, I love it. You're going to have to help me name my kids in the future.
The honor.
And you also competed while pregnant with Joseph following the 2008 Olympic Games. I remember that. And I was like, I can't even compete after eating a burrito, and you did it while
Who can?
Pregnant. So that was rock star move. You were pregnant with Scout during the 2012 Olympic Games. Wait, what is that like your secret weapon? Just being pregnant at games? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
you guys are really excited, huh? Really excited for the Olympic movement.
You gotta wait, like you're pent up. You're ready.
You're also inducted to the Stanford Athletics Hall of Fame in 2011 and into the Pac-12 Hall of Honor in 2018. And you as well, on top of being an Olympian, mom, Hall of Fame, you started your own company, P1440. Did I say that right?
You did. Platform 1440, but P1440.
Platform 1440 in 2018. So you are a busy person. And now we have to talk. That was not even your athletic stats. Your athletic stats include 2016 Olympic Games, bronze medal, 2012 Olympic Games, gold medal, 2008 Olympic Games, gold medal, 2004 2000 Games, 4th place. I mean, this list is just, that's just your Olympic resume. We're not even talking about your world championships, your just career in beach volleyball. So, wow, you just made me feel like I did nothing in my career.
Shut your mouth. That's not allowed. This journey is so
medals,
gnarly.
Okay, so you got all these golds, bronze. You want to let me loan that bronze? I mean, you got the gold.
Dude, you're going to earn your own. I'm so excited to cheer for you in a couple months, Lolo.
That poor bronze medal just sitting in your house. Like, why am I even here? Like,
oh my gosh. No, she is gorgeous. And she is fuel for the fire, as you know. Those disappointments, man. And she's not a disappointment. Like, we had to win,
Yeah, you had to fight for that bronze.
Because we lost.
For every medal.
Yes.
So your other highlights, you have become the most decorated beach volleyball Olympian of all time after winning the bronze in 2016. So that's why she's important. And with your 3 golds, 1 bronze, I mean, that's a huge honor to be the most decorated beach volleyball Olympian of all time. And you're one of only 3 U.S. beach volleyball players with more than 1 Olympic medal. Also Misty May Trainer and April Ross. And then you hold the record for tournament victories. So that's what I like this stat because this shows how dominant you are, not only at the Olympics, but just in playing beach volleyball, which is an incredible feat with 135 and for career earnings with what you made this much money. We put your money out there. Oh my gosh, we got your money, girl.
I've been playing for 20 years.
Wow.
That's
In
what I
career
made.
earnings, you have earned $2,648,135. A girl is paid. I can't believe we got that stat on you.
LoLo.
We went there.
Appreciate it.
And you and Misty May Trainer won 21 consecutive Olympic matches and only lost one set to Austria in 2012 during their 11-year run together. Just a reign of terror. Jeez.
Yes, and I hope I'm not done yet. Everything you just said, gosh, I just want more, Lolo.
I like it. I like it. You know why I like that? Because you would know this very well. The Olympics comes around every 4 years, well, 5 this time, and it's always highlighting the younger athletes. And I get that because we want to have that new energy. We don't know about them. And then when they get their medals, it's like, yes, like they did this. But I think it's really hard when you're old in the game to keep at it. It's like, I feel like the pressure just gets more and like your body is like, hey, whoa, I got more aches and pains. What are we doing here? So I love that you want to keep pressing it. I'm not even going to press you on your retirement question because we get that. You probably were getting the retirement question like what, around like 27?
No, because beach volleyball, we're kind of an older sport, you know, because it takes time
like
to get
32?
on tour. Well, once I had my first child, they're just like the assumptions that you're done are like loud. And then now that I'm 42, I'm 43 in a week. Like I'm like written off, you know,
Absolutely.
so, in so many other people's minds, and I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, you're right. It's a privilege to be an older athlete. I mean, the wisdom that comes with all those reps is gnarly. My body generally feels pretty amazing, which I'm so blessed to have. You know, so when you commit to another Olympics, as you know, it's like, it's not just about the body. It's like, how's your mind? How's your heart? How's your life going to be as you tackle this next dream? You know, do you want it bad enough to sacrifice in all those areas? And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, that's strong. We definitely need to talk more about that. I can't wait to dive in with, well, should I say, you're not a swimmer. What should I say?
Oh, you can say I dive all the time.
I can't wait to hit it. I don't know. I need a good segue here, Kerri. What do you guys say to beach volleyball?
I mean, we bump, set, spike. We hit it. We do dive. We
You
did.
guys don't have any cool things like runners. I want to run away with this. Like, you know,
how
like you guys
cute.
don't got that. Sorry, Kerri. We got to go to the next segment. You guys don't have anything, so we're just going to the next segment.
You're the queen, kid.
So, Kerri, we talked earlier about your prize money earnings. And so now I have to ask, what was the first thing you remember buying with your own money?
Oh, I like this question because it's still in I have the worst memory in the world, but I remember this. So after Misty and I won in Athens, 2004, the Athens airport, I remember I bought an Hermes bag that was maybe $2,000, and I had never ever.
Yeah, you
done
were
that
probably
before.
nervous doing that, right?
And I still have it.
I bought my first bag like that, and I was like, "Oh, this is so dumb," but I want to do it.
How cute!
Right now.
Well, mine was a little more practical. It was a carry-all. You know, it wasn't like a little purse thing, and it's still my favorite.
Wow, well, check that out.
Yeah.
That
It's an
bag is definitely
investment,
come in handy.
and my daughter's gonna get it one day, so we're all good.
I mean, that's 2,000 off of, you know, over $2 million. I say that you are definitely not living it up like a Kardashian. You're not.
One day,
you're going crazy. So you're being smart with your purchases. I like it. It's a modest, you know. I mean, 2,000 is an expensive bag. Don't get me wrong. It's not like you went out and bought a Ferrari.
No, for sure. Maybe that could come. You know, I'm in my mid-40s almost. So that could come with a midlife crisis. We shall see. But you know, thank goodness for brand partners, as you know, because you don't make a living off of prize money.
And now I definitely want to dive more into your company, Platform 1440, because not many athletes have time to even do hobbies, let alone start a whole business. So tell me about this. What is it? What was your inspiration for starting this company?
Yeah, well, the idea for it came after the 2016 Olympics. I kind of got into a battle with our domestic tour, the AVP. And I just thought, you know, the sport was suffering, the athletes were suffering, no one was being treated well. And instead of complaining and, you know, trying to push for change that wasn't happening, I just decided to walk away. I didn't want to settle for status quo anymore. And so my husband and I, along with our co-founders, the Mays family, we launched Platform 1440, P1440. And basically it's just in service to the sport. You know, we want to create more opportunities. We want to create choices for the athletes, because if there's only a monopoly, then you're stuck in the system.
What kind of choices are you talking about?
To compete, you know, different places to compete. Like right now, literally there's one domestic tour on domestically, and there's one international tour, and you have to bow down to whatever they say. So we thought, as lovers of competition, that you bring more competition and everyone is going to rise and elevate. And so we started focusing on the elite because we wanted to, kind of go with the pros and then trickle down and have the sport grow that way. But the elites are stuck in the system. And so we said, okay, you're not ready for us yet. Let's focus on the juniors. Let's focus on the college. And so that's what we're doing with 1440. We had over 100 events that we had for juniors this year, boys and girls, mostly girls, but we want to grow the boys game as well. Now that NCAA athletes can get paid, we're working at a scholarship model where they can compete in our events and earn scholarship money, to go toward their college careers. So
will you change that now with the new NIL rules, that maybe they could have prize money, or can they not have prize because it would compete with amateur status?
No, I believe they can take money. And so, but instead of just saying, here's a prize money check, we really want to be a little bit more thoughtful and elevate it and give college scholarship money. It's the same thing really, but we just want to package it a little bit better and a little bit more meaningful, because these athletes, we basically want to create a path to the top. And we want to integrate our whole system so they have our events to play, and it's all working toward the end of the year college scholarship money. And along the way, as they're competing, they get to be seen by these college coaches. They get to be recruited. So we're developing their brand, their platform, and then, hopefully they'll take the sport and grow it along with it and give back, what's been given to them and just kick butt.
How many years out do you think your company is from garnering the elite beach volleyball players into your platform?
We have the elite juniors, 100%, and we're working now with the college stuff. With the rule changes, we're going to focus on the colleges this year, and we're going to have tournaments for them to compete in their off time. So hopefully we'll get the best of the best this year in 2021. And then as far as the pros, I don't know, Lolo. They have to want us. And they didn't want us before, and it caused a lot of friction. And I want to disrupt, but I don't want to we have so much disenfranchisement. And I really believe, I come from an attitude of abundance. It's not one pie that we're cutting up. We're creating new pies of opportunities. And so we come from that model. But ideally, we service the pros in the next couple of years. Absolutely. But that's not our focus.
Yes, this is huge. And I know it was honestly probably harder. I mean, I don't know. For you, probably making an Olympic team is easy, but to start.
Well, I didn't make it this year.
Yeah. But I mean, this platform is so tough because we deal with this in track and field a lot. We have the Diamond League, and people have been trying to create a competing resource so that athletes are not forced to just compete in the Diamond League, because the prize money has continued to diminish over the years. And so that's essentially what you're trying to do.
Yes.
You're essentially trying to for just to break it or make it easier for fans that don't know sports. You're essentially, if the Olympics is the only way to compete, you're trying to create another Olympics. So it's very powerful. And I wish you a whole bunch of success on that, because I know it will change athletes' lives. So it's pretty incredible what you're doing.
Well, thank you. Well, and as you know, to be a popular Olympic sport is such a blessing. But if that's all you are, it's such a curse, because you're only relevant for 2 weeks once every 4 years. And so for me, as someone, when I had that realization, I literally started crying. I'm like, the Olympics has made my life. It's brought so many opportunities, but only 4 athletes per country maximum can go and compete. So you have thousands of humans wanting to compete and wanting to chase their dreams that might not be Olympic dreams, but they're just cut out of the whole process. And so that's what we want to do with 1440. And you're right, it's gnarly. Being an entrepreneur, LoLo, I'm used to living and dying by my own performance, my own timeline, setting my schedule. And now I'm so reliant upon the marketplace and people's feelings. And this is my baby, but not theirs, but we have an amazing investor, Teresa Gao, who is one of my heroes. She really supports women's initiatives. She loves the sport and she believes in it. So we're partnered with her, and we have a really small but amazing team. And with that's all you need, really. And then a lot of persistence, obviously.
And now, a message from Discover about rewards. If you're a loyal credit card customer, you should be rewarded for your loyalty, preferably with something that's useful, like Cashback Match, for instance. Discover matches all the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year. Finally, rewards that make sense. Discover, exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
look, you're a rock star. And just the other day talking to you, I was getting a wealth of knowledge just because you were talking for you, it's natural. But I was like, when you were talking, I was like, this is why I don't have an Olympic medal. You were talking about mental toughness and all the things you kind of overcame. And I was just like, wow, she's like, she really knows how to win here. So,
I know how to fail too, clearly, which is part of it. Like, I really believe, and I have to believe, I know you're a woman of faith, like you walk by faith every day. And I think that's such a benefit to being an athlete because there's so many unknowns. There's so many things out of our control. And to me, my faith has been my guiding light, and knowing that I'm built of the creator, right? Like, I'm in good hands. I'm built from good stuff. And so when it comes to failures, I've had too many to list. I'd say my biggest failure is not qualifying for this Olympic Games. And it's not
I know, but you were so close, right? You guys were weren't you guys ranked 1 or 2 the whole time leading up?
We were 2
like
the whole
last
time.
minute.
Yeah, and then we finished 8th in the Olympic ranking. But they only take 2 teams, and the 2 teams are above us. But LoLo, it's not that we didn't qualify. It's just how we didn't qualify. For the first time in my whole life, like sometimes I have a bad match or a bad tournament, which is devastating. I had a bad year. And I just wasn't, and it was so emotional. You know, I'm so caught up by the way of the world, and I'm a mom now. And like, I just want the world to be right and people to do right actions and to let people live and let live. And my focus was, I was so obsessed with training and competing, but I was also obsessed with, I want to leave this world better for my children. And I think the heaviness of that, no excuses. It was just in my way, and I could never be where I was at 100%. And you have to be present to be great, you know? And so unfortunately, I played like crap all year and we didn't qualify. And so that to me, it's not the not qualifying. It's the fact that I'm paid to show up, I'm paid to win, and I didn't do either. You know, I tried with all my heart. I put everything into it, and yet, you know, it just was a poop show.
Well, the takeaway from that biggest failure is you said that you have to be present. And that's such a hard thing to do because especially as an Olympian, you start thinking about like Olympics, medals, and like you can be overwhelmed with that. And so I think that that's just a good advice for anyone, because when you're having these big goals, like whether it's to start a business or to lose, you know, maybe you want to lose 30 pounds, like that can be overwhelming. You have to, the key is staying in the moment. It's taking it day by day. Like, you know, you want to lose the 30 pounds, but like your focus should be, okay, today I just need to work out, you know, because then it's not so daunting. So it's huge advice. So you're really not going to tell me your biggest success? I know it's hard because you got those golds, you know.
So many. No, you know, I think my biggest success is doing it as a mom. You know, like I adore my career. It just fuels me as a human. You know, I'm developing as a woman and a person in this world because of this career. And I just came out of my parents' womb, my mom's womb, like wanting to be a mom. And so the fact that I've been able to still compete, and keep my family closely connected. You know, my husband and I have a great relationship. It's hard as hell. Excuse my language, but we have to fight really hard because I'm gone for weeks at a time. My kids have to sacrifice. I have to sacrifice. And the fact that we've done it all together while still loving and liking each other, is awesome. And that's why I don't know if I want to go back to Paris, but I want to keep going because I want that fairy tale ending. I want to outlast the hard times where the last 5 years have been really hard. And I want to do it with my family, and I want us all to arrive at whatever the next mountaintop is together, having triumphed. You know, there's lots of ways to triumph, but like, I want to win. Like the literal triumph. I want that too.
Well, I love how you said you want to end with a fairy tale ending. I'm like, I feel like you already did it. I mean, generations have been inspired by your performances for years. And this is just something, this is so offbeat, but the athlete in me has to ask this because you obviously have had really grueling competitions, workouts where you're probably just exhausted, lactic acid in your legs, can't move a muscle. Which one is harder, that or having a kid?
Oh, hell. Well, having a kid is the best thing I've ever done.
No, I'm talking about physically.
It's the gnarliest thing I've ever done, and therefore the best thing I've ever done. Like, I feel like I was built to have children. My mom's had 8 kids. She carried triplets for her sister. Like, I'm like built with that DNA.
So you're saying you were in the delivery room and it was easy?
No, I'm not saying no. No,
I'm
the
trying
good
to figure
things.
out, I want kids. I want family. I'm nervous.
Lolo, you're going to love every moment.
Which
Dude,
one's harder, running 400s or
having a baby? Are you crazy? My God, it's the most painful. It's like soul pain. It's so incredible. But it like, fudge, man, I just felt different after that. Man, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved all of it.
Well, okay. Well, thanks for making me more frightened to have my first child, and also
No, you're built for it. It's so fun. And even if you have to have a cesarean or even whatever, like there's so many magical ways to do it. But for me, I was so blessed that like delivery was so painful. Like I almost quit, like, you know, and went for drugs every time.
How can you quit delivery?
Well, like give me drugs. No, it wasn't going to quit. But, you know, like,
sorry, kid, this match is over.
We need to take a
You're
TL. No, it just was wonderful. I'm excited for you because to me, it was the biggest gift ever to experience that. And now to be raising these little souls and guiding them and like learning from them, it's just, man, life is beautiful.
Well, do you think any of your kids will play beach volleyball?
I mean, if the money was better.
Wow.
2 million in 20 years, Lolo. I don't know if you're doing your math right, but you know, they're sporties. They whatever's in the season they're playing, which I really love. You know, I want them to have range and do as much as they can, as long as they love it. So I don't know, but our oldest, all of them are really special, obviously in their own way. Our oldest, legit, is my favorite athlete of all time. Like he trumps Jordan to me, and because whatever Jordan had that made Jordan Jordan.
Yeah.
My son has that, and he's 12. So we'll see where it goes. But it's like something so special to me.
Yeah. You're probably watching all your Olympic competitions.
I don't know, man. He came out that way. You'll appreciate this. So when he plays baseball, he goes, Mama, one day he goes, do you know what I do when I'm waiting in the field for the other team to hit? I was like, no, what do you do, babe? He goes, I pray for the ball to come to me. And I'm like, you're the gnarliest. Like, I'm going to start doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He wants it. He invites it, and it comes to him so much.
Dang. Yeah. Every time I played, I'm like, do not let this ball come anywhere near me. Absolutely.
And it comes to you.
Very comfortable over here without any action.
You're so cute. Yeah, we all have our things. But that, to me, is really impressive, and it kind of sums him up in a nutshell.
Speaking of kids, and now we're going to go back and talk about you as a younger athlete, kid. What was your first memory of success in any sport?
Oh, gosh. Well, one of my favorite memories. So I grew up near Santa Cruz, which is a beach town in Northern California, and we did junior lifeguards. And I hated the water. I would fake having an ear infection every day so I wouldn't have to go in the ocean and get eaten by a shark. But I really loved the running stuff, you know, flags and all these sprints and long distance. And so one day we had, I think it was a 2-mile run. It was a race, and it was the boys and girls mix. And we're kicking butt. Like I finished third. And there was 2 boys ahead of me, and all 3 of us smoked everyone else. And I remember at the end, and my parents were there cheering. I remember at the end, my parents like, Kerri, why didn't you go harder at the end? And I was like, I am so proud because I went my hardest the whole time, you know, and it felt like such a personal victory, and they didn't see it the way I saw it, but I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And so mentally becoming, 30 years later, being an athlete, that was a very poignant moment for me because I gave it my whole heart and I felt like a winner and I got third. You know what I'm saying?
I like this. And I like that your first memory is running. Totally can relate to
running
that.
to avoid the ocean, but yes, it was running.
I thought it was totally going to be something about volleyball or I don't know. Yeah, that's great. So if volleyball wasn't your first memory of competing, do you remember your first volleyball victory?
No, when I think of volleyball, I honestly loved it from the go. Like our very first practice, I was 10 years old in the 5th grade. My mom was coaching and I was like, what is this magical sport? I'm in love with it. And I would come home and I'd be in the mirror, like working on my arm swing and looking at the technique. And I would do the approach jumps up and down my parents' hallway and play off the roof. And I'm still that way. Like I still love the sport that much, which is so weird. Obviously time is different, but I'm still skipping up and down my parents' hallway doing that damn approach because I feel like there's more in me, So I think volleyball, it's been a love affair from the get-go.
From day one.
Day one.
Then you're really going to love this question. Do you remember your first memory of like losing, whether it's beach volleyball or, I guess you already kind of told that in your first one. You lost you were proud of your 3rd place finish with the running, but like, what about when you're starting to get into volleyball? Was there any one where you're just like, I don't know. I see you always like cool, calm, and collected. Kerri, I'm just digging for the
Who
team.
are you kidding, Lolo?
Have you literally lost it in the competition field?
Like lost my mind, like and freaked out?
Well, just the first time you were really annoyed by losing.
Oh, well, I mean, so many times. I'm such a bad loser. It's so unfortunate, but I just, just a bad loser sometimes it just makes stays you a really good winner. Me. No, yeah. I mean, I clearly, if I hated losing as much as I love winning, I would have retired because it's unbearable, Yeah. But for me, I remember being in high school at this one tournament and I was just off, and I felt like every time I went to go for a kill, like they had an answer for me, and it was so confusing. And I remember my coach, I pulled him aside, I was like, Coach, like, give me practice. Like, tell me what to do. I need to fix this right now. And he's like, Kerri, they're scouting you now. This is such an opportunity for you to go and get creative. And he's like, if they stop you, there's another way. And he like really kind of opened up my mind that it's all about cracking the egg, and when you stop, it doesn't mean they're on to you. It means you have to go another route and you have to figure it out. And that really helped me so much. Instead of being like, oh, I'm failing, I'm like letting everyone down. It's like, no, this is part of it.
Well, your coach was definitely giving you an early lesson on failures. What were some other lessons you have learned from winning and losing? I mean, I feel like sometimes I learned so much from losing a competition.
Oh, hell. I mean, it's such a vulnerable place and you're so exposed, and I think the gift of being exposed is that your weaknesses are on display and you can either run from them or you can go and develop them, so losing and being picked on and having bad matches, I think it's just the contrast you need to live to push you and to provoke you into training the things that you maybe aren't spending enough time on. I want to be autonomous out there. Like I want to be self-sufficient and not have to rely on anybody. And, it's not always going to be that way. And I think you have to live the nightmare situations in order to get out of your comfort zone and to be pushed into better and new. It's like on those edges where you're so uncomfortable and you're so frustrated and you want to quit or scream or whatever it is, or say, F you, like get off me. That's when you're like, it's like the decision-making time. Am I going to just settle for where I'm at and just like, no, things are going to be harder from here on out? Or am I going to push through this, develop myself more and create even more range,
When you got the bronze medal at the Olympic Games, obviously because you had golds before that, I mean, I know it's winning a bronze, but it's also losing gold. What was your takeaway from that moment?
Well, losing gold is heartbreaking. Like it was so gnarly. Like the amount of shame I felt because I had a bad game in the semi. The amount of shame I felt, I didn't sleep. I mean, maybe I slept for 1 hour before my next match and there's 24 hours in between, right? So I'm bawling, I'm walking around in circles. My husband's trying to console me. It was so devastating. But the gift of it was that we had another chance to come back. In your races, you finish 1, 2, or 3, however it goes, and then you're done. And I think the gift of our sport is that you do get another chance to come back and to fight for that bronze. And that's why I say you have to win the bronze. You just don't kind of fall into it. But it was the hardest thing. It was the biggest gift for me. It really exposed all of my weaknesses. I knew what they were already, but it's like when you fail on that world stage, it's kind of like that inner critic and that devil inside your head gets louder. And I allowed it to get really loud. And so 4 years after Rio, I was still working on my self-confidence and working on owning everything, and being okay with having that on my resume, So
I love that.
It was a gift. It was a life gift for sure. And then to win, because we started out in the bronze medal match playing like crap. It was like a rerun of the night before. And it was like, oh my hell, this is literally the worst nightmare happening again. And then we came together, which is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in sports is that if you're on a team, whatever team you're on, whether you're the face of your team, right? But you have your trainers and all these things. When things get hard, you have to go like this. You cannot go like this. You have to come like this with yourself. You have to come like this with your partners and your teams. And that's how you outlast because so much of excellence is outlasting the hard moments, right? And even when it's so dark outside, like looking for the good, what's working and walking in faith regardless, So that's the gift that I got from the bronze.
That's powerful. Outlasting. I mean, so many people just give up or give in right before they're about to have a breakthrough. So that's definitely something I can take away as I've been frustrated through my journey, throughout my career, coming up short with an Olympic medal. But you said just outlasting your failures.
Yeah. Well, it's all for a purpose, right?
All for a purpose.
Man, you're a rad human being for having suffered. And that's suffering. Like, that's true suffering. And you have the media on top of it and jerks around you. Like, it's gnarly what you go through.
Oh,
it's
you're
not
gonna
just
make me cry. We're gonna have to end this podcast.
I think you're dope, Lolo. I'm excited. You're a champion is the bottom line, you know.
Tell that to my Twitter trolls.
Well, they can suck it.
Yeah, they can suck it.
Respectfully speaking.
Kerri, now we're going to get into some of the best advice you've ever received and some of the worst advice. I'll start with the worst advice is someone told me, it's okay. You don't have to be attracted to the person you marry. That was probably the worst advice I've gotten.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's not good advice. Yeah,
I don't think so.
So what's your worst advice someone's ever given you?
Yeah, that person needs to be nixed from your Rolodex. The worst advice I feel like I've ever gotten is always the advice that's counter to my intuition. When I was working on getting pregnant with our first, I was told, do not do that. You're going to ruin your career. I was told not to take my husband's last name. You're going to ruin your brand. Just these things that I want in my life with all my heart. You know, the advice was like, don't do that. You're sacrificing too much. And it was lame. It's not the truth. You know? Yeah,
the name thing is huge for female athletes because I hear that in track and field a lot when athletes get married. They're like, dude, you don't change your name. People know you as this. Don't put the hyphen. Don't change. And so I love that you brought that up. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Well, to finish that, hold on. I just vehemently disagree. Like, had I changed my name on day one of being married, like I put Walsh as my middle name, but it's an identity crisis, Lolo. Like people call my husband Mr. Walsh. That's not cool, you know, like, and I'm my kid's mom. Like, I want to be Kerri Jennings. That's who I am. And now I built up this thing because I didn't do that right away. And it's a literal nightmare, you know, but whatever, there's worse things to have. So I would say if you're going to be Lolo Taylor, when you get married, be Lolo Taylor as you're pursuing your excellence. That's beautiful. Or not, whatever. Just make a decision and stick with it. Best advice I ever got, the most random story ever, sitting by Jimmy Kimmel's mother on an airline I will not mention. And she was going to celebrate her, like a big wedding anniversary. And I was like, well, what's your secret? You know, because my husband and I have been to hell and back like a million times, you know, and we've had a fight for our relationship. And she said, the best piece of advice I can give you is that when things get hard and you're fighting with your man, your partner, you got to run together when times get hard, not run apart. And I thought that was so beautiful. And then it made me think of another piece of advice that I got with parenting that says, when your kids seem so unlovable, that's when they need love most. And that to me applies to everything across the board, you know, not just parenting, not just relationships, but life, business, you know, every human interaction. I think you have to outlast, you have to be fully committed because there's so much intimacy and conflict, you know, but because you have to, if you want a long-standing partnership, if you want the life of your dreams, you're going to have to go through really hard times. And if you come together in those hard times, then you give yourself a chance. You know, if you run apart, I think space is very valuable, but I think generally if you just keep running apart, you're just going to keep furthering the divide, and then life is hard. So that was the best advice times 2.
This advice has me wanting to go text every ex. We're going to come together. Kerri said it. We're going through tough times, but she said we got to come together.
Some exes are meant to be exes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But man, I don't know. I just turned 39. I was like, all right, who am I desperate enough to call today?
Oh my gosh. I got a trainer who's super cute.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Send the picture. The
picture, you're gonna like the picture. He's a great soul. So
great guy.
He's a great guy. I love him.
See? Having me on the podcast, and now I'll be married in a year.
Oh, I just gotta go to the wedding, that's all. I'm gonna send you his details. 100%.
Absolutely. Kerri, thank you so much for being on the show. I love talking with you. I always take away something that's like a game changer for me. And you're just an awesome soul, and I can tell why you have been so successful over your career.
Oh, Lolo. Well, thank you. Same for you, darling. I'm so impressed. I cannot wait to cheer you on with all my heart. And you're already a champ, right? Just go do you. You're going to kick everyone's butt. Have some fun.
Bobsled, here I come.
You got a legion behind you, kid.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks so much for joining us. And always remember that greatness finds us by obstacles in front of us.